Hi, I'm Matt with Keeping a YYC. Today we're joined by Ellen Mann with Chrysalis Creative Homestaging. Hey Ellen, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic today. It looks quite gorgeous outside.
It is.
We'll get right into it and we'll find out a little bit about your business. Tell us a little bit about it.
I provide home staging services to local realtors and home sellers. So I help them get their properties ready for sale.
Okay, so an in-person kind of thing, I'm assuming you actually come to the property and basically work your magic, I assume.
Most of the time, that's exactly how we work. We come into a client's home initially to give them ideas on how to do cost-effective updates that may help their home sell. Part of what we do too is do research beforehand. So I'll look into the local market in the neighborhood. We'll determine who the most likely buyer for the property is, and we style with that in mind.
Oh, okay, so when you say updates, do you mean actual updating the property with renovations or just how you're styling it and what you're putting in for furniture?
No, we actually do talk to homeowners about things that they can do that are cost effective and will draw the eye of a potential buyer. So for example, one of the things we talk about often is lighting. Update some of the lighting, which will help the property look updated. Things like changing the cabinet pulls in your kitchen, wall colors, flooring choices, we do it all.
That is very comprehensive and very detailed.
Yeah, it's a little more than bringing in a plant and 3 throw pillows, which people often think is what we do.
Okay. Okay. So obviously this environment has affected you. What have you been doing to try to adapt at the moment?
So we've started doing virtual consultations. So exactly what we're doing here. So we will talk to a homeowner. Virtually, they can use their computer or their telephone to actually walk us through their property, and we can provide guidance on things they can do that way to keep everybody safe.
Okay. So probably just get it on their phone and walk around with you on some kind
Yeah.
of video conferencing. Okay. So really trying to provide your full-blown services virtually is what you're trying to do.
We do that, and just last week we actually dropped furniture off at a homeowner's property. It's things that can be easily sterilized before they go into the property. We'll drop it off on the driveway with contact-free delivery service, and they take it in, and then we do another Zoom call and we will assist them in positioning things properly.
Okay. So you actually provide the furniture and decorations at times as well.
Yeah. So in
Okay.
some cases, if a client's got great furniture, we work with what they have. We can augment with art and accessories, or we do vacant staging for show homes and things like that too.
Okay. So really full service, whatever people need, top to bottom.
You bet.
Okay. So the next question that I have for you is, let me make sure I get it right here. Simple question, what can people do right now to support local in general?
So I think looking at local providers of all kinds of services is important right now. We do that in our business all the time anyway. I partner with a handyman, for example. I've got a local cleaner that we use. So we do try to work with local people as much as possible. But we are also looking at getting local items that we can display in homes. So there is a company called Palm Pillows who provide beautiful throw pillows, and she lives right around the corner from me. So we talking to her about using some of her products in houses. One of the other things that we're doing right now, because we have to sterilize everything that comes into a house and sterilize it when it comes back, we've been really impressed with some of the breweries in town who have started to provide it's a liquid sanitizer. So when a brewery does their first run of something, they can't use that first alcohol that comes off. And Minhas Brewery and quite a few of the other smaller breweries in town have actually turned that into hand sanitizer. There's one that Minhas is providing. They have at Safeway and Sobeys actually, that we can put in a spray bottle and use that to disinfect the things that we are taking into people's homes or bringing out.
That's awesome. I did see that a little while ago. Some of the breweries were doing that, and that makes perfect sense. They have the facilities to do that, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and otherwise it would be waste. So that's just been a really cool pivot. One of the other things that we're doing as a family, so my business is a family business. My husband, my stepson, and my daughter-in-law work with me. But one of the things we're doing as a household is we're having local produce delivered right to the doorstep. So there are a couple of companies that are providing that sort of service as well. And with a lot of the produce growers not able to get their items into local restaurants, they are doing delivery right to your door.
Nice. That's a great idea. I'll actually have to check that out. I haven't done that to this point.
Yeah.
So the last question I have is, are there any tips and tricks that you can share in relation to your expertise in home staging?
Absolutely. So we've talked a little bit about the fact that we do cost-effective updating in strategic spots in the home. But there's another thing that homeowners that are looking to potentially sell their home, we found that houses get nicknames because people start their search online. So they will look at the list photos for a house, and every single house they actually choose to go visit, and people are still doing that right now, things are moving.
Okay.
Go and visit a house, the house will get a nickname. And one of the things I often talk to my clients about is you don't want to be the dishes in the sink house, and you don't want to be the socks beside the couch house. We want you to have a positive nickname. So one of the things that we often will talk to clients about is painting their front door a nice, colorful color. You want something that is on trend. So we see a lot of teal, yellow, orange, red doors. And that's one of the ways that you can give your house a positive nickname. So when they're talking about it later, oh, remember, hon, that was the one with the teal front door. That's something you can think about. Another thing is to do some of the repairs that you've been putting off. If you're thinking about listing your house, now's the time to get that sort of thing done too. So if you've got artwork that you're moving off the walls, for example, we suggest just touching up the nail hole that is behind the picture with your finger and a little bit of that filler, rather than using a spackle and sanding and things like that, just touching up that one tiny piece. Now is also a time to be looking at a consistent neutral color throughout your house. And we do that for a very simple reason, and that is, you know, looking at you, you've got a red couch behind you, for example. Neutral walls are always great so that people's furnishings will work in the house. So those are some tips that people can think about while they've got time on their hands.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. I never thought about that with the door. If it's an on-trend color, looks good, you want people to remember something about that experience. That's fantastic advice.
One of the things to keep in mind if you're selling a home in Calgary right now, the average age of a home seller is 57, but the average buyer is 32 years old. So anything you can do to appeal to that younger buyer, that's something you should think about.
That is a big age difference, actually. I did not realize that either.
Yeah, people are often surprised by that, but that is the averages.
Okay. Well, this has actually been extremely informative, to be honest. That is all the questions that I had prepared for you. However, we do ask that you end the interview by looking into the camera and stating your name and your visit name, and just asking the fine people watching to keep it local, keep it YYC.
My name's Ellen Mann, and I am the president of Chrysalis Creative Home Staging. We'd like you to keep it local and keep it YYC.